Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your Sean. It's your Sean host. It's your host, Sean. I haven't even had that much rye yet, and I am on fire already today. Let's try this again. It's your host, Sean. We're belling up to the bar. I think this is appropriate for today with having Cody's going to come on. So we have a woman that's going to, on Saturday, is going to empower us spiritually. We decided today we're going to bring someone that's going to empower us physically, get us together. He has a pretty look. I'm not normally a goatee guy, but you know, if your coloring's right, like he's actually got my coloring that's missing off of my beard. He found it. He's got the center parts where I'm missing on my beard and mustache. This gentleman has it for us. He's a TV host. He's been doing holistic workouts for women for like 350 years. He might have done the workouts with Mary Magdalene back in the day. Who knows? But we have with us Coach Greg LeFever, and he's got a goatee with a French name, LeFever. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, good to be here, Sean. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate being here.
Brother, I appreciate you coming to us. And we have your forest fire smoke on the East Coast if you want it back.
No, man. We've had enough of that stuff. Welcome to keep it. Keep it as long as you can and send it when you need to.
Okay. I mean, we'll jar it up, send it over.
Send it back.
Yep. We've been laughing. I've been talking to some of my Marine buddies, and we're all like, do you remember controlled burns? And they're all like, yeah, man. So everybody on the East Coast who's like, it's the end of the world. You've never woke up on a military installation where they have done a controlled burn for the last 2 days. Oh, yeah. Everything's smoked out. And you're like, and they still expect you to go out and run 3 miles. They're like, the enemy's not going to worry about if there's smoke. You're like, yeah, I can't argue with you.
They don't care. No. Yeah, everything's gray, the nice gray cover on everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Ash falls. Oh, yeah. We're coming up on that season pretty soon.
Yeah, you guys but you've had a fair amount of rain. And welcome to the Above the Bar podcast weather report.
The weather report. Well, we've had way more rain than we've ever had. I'm native Southern California. Man, I don't remember raining this much ever. It's beautiful now. It'll stay beautiful, but when that sun comes out and it goes dry, oh, you bet. Watch the TV, man. Those fires are going to hit, and then we're going to be in that same season. It's just the cycle. It sucks, but it's the cycle.
And look, during that cycle, you'll only need 30 minutes to work out with Coach Greg, and he'll get you to go. Look at that. You like how I rolled that right in?
That was smooth.
Pretty good with that. But let's get started here. Let's get some house cleaning done before we get into what Coach Greg has got for us here. As always, folks, over my right shoulder, if you're watching the video, we've got Sticker and a Cause. If you've got something you're supporting, maybe you know what the first rule of CrossFit is, don't you there, Coach Greg?
What's that? No, I don't.
Talk about CrossFit. Just like Fight Club, it was the opposite. CrossFit, you talk about it. Yep. But maybe you've got a CrossFit club you belong to. You've got a drinking club you belong to. I don't care what it is. Girl Scout troop, whatever it is. You reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, even our email. It's all the Above the Bar podcast. Send me a message. Let me know what you got going on. I'll tell you where to send the sticker to. You send me the sticker. We'll put it up here on the big board. We'll talk about it. Get some support for you, whatever you've got happening. Again, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all those locations. Make sure you do that for us. Let me know, and I'll make that happen. The other side of this is, and this might be, with the fires here that we got going on, everything that's happening, I'll say it like this. Are you tired of your old, outdated blinds in your home? Is it time for you to update your windows to a stunning makeover? Well, let me introduce you to East Greenbush, Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, your destination for stylish and affordable window treatments. How about this, Coach Greg? Picture this. Beautiful custom windows, perfectly complementing your decor, providing privacy, blocking out any of that harsh smoke. Not sunlight, because we don't have any right now, right here. Blocking out the harsh smoke light. And getting the blinds of your dreams is just as easy as reaching out to Budget Blinds of East Greenbush. And if you reach out to them and you tell them you're there to belly up to the bar, guess what they're going to do, Coach?
I'm gonna get his discount. Be my guess.
They're going to give you a discount, 10% discount, just for
Nice.
mentioning that. And they're going to offer this. This is one of the things that people don't understand with them. Everything is in home, in your house. You can see if it matches your favorite Budweiser poster that's hanging up in your living room. You have that opportunity. Does it match the workout equipment you have? They're going to help you figure that out. It's all going to be there. Does it match the wrestling mat? Do you need Roman shades so you can practice Greco-Roman wrestling? That can be a thing.
It's a must.
Do you need solar shades so that you can get that perfect pose? All you got to do is reach out to them, let them know what you got going on. Everything comes with a 5-year no questions asked warranty, one replacement on any one of your blinds if you happen to be in the house and you throw somebody through a window and it breaks that blind. Just let us know and they'll come right out and replace it. Once again, that's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush. All right, Coach.
Man, I want to go there after all that. Wish I could. I'm a little far, but that sounds amazing.
Well, they're a California company. You've got Budget Blinds out there by you.
Oh, you know what? I think I've used them. Honestly,
you may have.
Honestly, I'm not joking. A few years ago, I think I've used them. Now that you say that, because you said of the East Bluff or East
of East Greenbush, so that's the local one out here.
Threw me off, but Budget Blinds, yeah. I know what city they're in. They're not far. I think I've actually been there.
Yeah,
so they come out, they measure, and they do the whole thing for you, and
you believe that somebody who actually comes to your house, does the measurement, shows you the things in your home instead of in a showroom and goes, well, I think it'll look good. Bring a picture with you.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, this would look nice. Yeah. You know what? Blinds are just to support your crew there, but the right blinds in your house, man, are amazing. They look good. They keep like us. We got the sun comes across the back of that thing. We got a raised that's an electronic one, goes up, and it's just a full cover though. I'm like, oh man, I love it. It's sweet. So yeah, get those blinds.
Absolutely. Well, out here on where we're at, see, you guys need the solar shades because you get so much sun. Out here, people get the honeycombs, which it looks like for extra insulation on their windows because we get so cold. So yeah, reach out to those guys. Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, 518-844-0800. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush. You can Google them at Budget Blinds of East Greenbush or call them 518-844-0800. All right, Coach.
Great commercial.
The bar's open.
Bar's open.
You got T, so you're the DD.
I'm it. Yep.
I have Rye.
I'm usually the DD and I'm security, as they call me. Security. Yep. I'm the guy.
We were just talking about that. I was meeting with a gentleman and I told him what my old job was when I worked for Amtrak. He goes, "Do you know?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know that guy." I was like, "Great dude, good dude, just got married." He goes, "Yeah, man, he's a big dude." I was like, Yeah, he's a pretty big guy. They used to call him the what was it? They called him it was either UFO or the abductor or something like that when he was a bouncer, because guys would be arguing with another bouncer and he was the head bouncer and he would just slowly creep up and just snatch the person up and walk them out of the bar. And he was so big, 9 out of 10 dudes that had liquid courage really weren't doing anything.
Yeah, no.
He's a big boy. Yeah.
It baffles me at all. You're arguing with a bouncer. Really? They put the bouncer there for a reason. You're not gonna do well.
You're half in the bag. So give me a break.
Yeah. You'll regret that decision tomorrow.
Yeah. Nate's joining us already. Our buddy Nate. Gotta love him. He said they've got the smoke down in there. I don't think we have any haunted shades, but I will tell you, every scary movie I watch, when they have that, now that's the big thing, is that scene where nothing moves and it's just the empty room with the security camera and the sheer curtains do the little wavy thing.
Yes. Creepy.
I cut that shit right off. I won't watch it. I can't watch it. And then John L., my favorite conductor, my favorite CSX conductor, enjoying that good retired life out in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. But we love you, John L. So Coach, let's kind of get into this. So you've got and let me make sure I'm running your stuff. I almost forgot to run your banner there for you. So you've got a website, empoweredfitness.com.
Yes, sir.
What you've got Instagram, and you focus, and make sure I got all this right. And I'll let Coach kind of tell his story in a moment, but you really have focused, about 20 years now purely on women's holistic health and that piece. Is that correct?
That's correct. Let's say 20 because it makes me feel not as old.
Okay.
Let's go with the coloring, and all that. Yeah, you know what? 20. We'll call it 20. I've been doing this for a long time. I actually have an 18-year automotive corporate career. I was on the corporate side of things. Land Rover Jaguar North America when they were out here as well.
Oh, wow.
They went back to New Jersey. Can't love you guys on the East Coast. They said, come to New Jersey. I'm looking out the window like he's at 74 degrees on my side. Sun's up. Like, what's your weather? I'm like, pass. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 2007. So that was my jump off of the corporate. But all the while, I've been studying this since I was a teenager.
Okay.
I'm kind of a nutrition geek. I used to read the Nutrition Almanac. I'm like, oh, what does this do? What does that do? How does this fix your body? So a little geeky on that side. So I'm a supplement guy. So I like that as well. So, but that just kind of kept it in. And my buddy and I started training when we were teenagers. He wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I'm like, all right, I'll train with you. He went down that road. I just trained with him, but he went down the big road. Amazing dude. But we got way into it. And like, this is so much fun. And then people, when you get to that level, even as a young guy, people start going, oh, hey, how did you get to here? How do you lift? The guys always want, I want to have big arms. Okay. Girls like, oh, I want a skinny waist and a big butt. All right. It's still that way. But, so yeah, it doesn't change. So I was doing that all the while. I'm like, it's fun. Then the corporate thing changed. And I thought, this is a jump off point in life. I can go get another job, which I've had a job, or I can jump off, start my own fitness gig because I already had a plan. And it's because I didn't want to get to the end of my life and go, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wonder what would have happened if I had done that. Could I have done something magical and big, or would I have sucked? You don't know until you take the shot. But a job is a job to me. Right. I'm like, but if this is truly what I like, I'm going to jump off and check it out. So 2007, I jumped out. I started with women only boot camps because it was underserved. There's barely any out there. That's when boot camps out here really started getting traction. Boot camps outside of all things. And then everyone wants to train athletes and guys. Really, okay, they're all great, but it's a totally different niche. I'm like, I don't want to be in that group. I want to go help people like the common person. For marketing and business wise, it started as a marketing business thing. There's more of them, for one, a lot more of them. And then I realized after I started training, I started actually out in Newport Beach. I come out of corporate. It's kind of funny. I come out of corporate. My first thing's 23 ladies in Newport Beach standing there for boot camp staring at me like, okay, now what? I'm like, wow, this is not the boardroom, my friend. It's a little different. So, that's how I started this gig. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I learned quickly that the women, they're taking care of their families, their jobs. They're running the kids to school. They're doing PTA. They're doing community stuff. They're actually, there is no such thing as like a stay-at-home mom. That's a term that says they don't stay at home anymore. In the old days, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. That was a long time ago. She kind of stayed at home and was there when we got home. They don't stay at home anymore. No. So that term does not exist. That's a lame thing to say. And they're like, because they're amazing. They would come flying in for workout, but they wanted to check out and because they're running their job all day. They're telling people what to do. They want to check out mentally. They want to be told what to do. Pardon my expression. They want to have their asses handed to them in a workout. They don't want to frilly workout. Not the ladies that I train. They're like, no, make this harder. I'm like, all right, let's go. You know what? And they just wanted to check out, and they wanted to have the camaraderie of being there with other women. Then they chit chat and they do their thing when they can breathe. But they come flying in, the hard workout. They're like, oh, coach, we don't like you. We don't like you. Well, you're not supposed to now. I used to have shirts that said, hate me now, love me later. That was my shirt. I wore that. Hate me now, love me later. Like, oh, I hate you right now. Of course you do. But who's the first person that you text when you just drop that pant size and you're like, oh, I just tried on something new? I get those texts. I'm like, now corporate life, they're like, yeah, great job getting your sales. Great job getting your numbers. Go do it again. You get really nothing for it. But when you start changing people's lives and like, oh my God, my blood work went down, or I stopped taking a medication, or now you're impactful. I'm like, man, this feels way better. This feels way better to me. It's like it started to become more purposeful. It has more substance to it. So I kind of ran that road, ebbed and flowed. And because I came from corporate, I went back into wellness at the corporate level, meaning I took teams of people to companies and work with them on their wellness programs. So fitness, yoga, Pilates, all of the bar, whatever they had in the gym. They're like, oh, we need a program. I'm like, I'm your guy. They're like, do you have yoga? I'm like, yes. My first one, do you have yoga? Yes, I do. I didn't. I found it. Yes, guy. Oh, do you guys do Pilates? Absolutely, we do. They're just whatever you're asking for. I've got it, and we'll make it happen. So we're making this happen. I end up with a great team of people.
I got a guy. I got a guy. Don't worry about it.
I got a guy. I know I had a guy. And if I don't have a guy, I know a guy that knows a guy. And that was what it is. I'm like, hey, who do you know? I work with like Disneyland Corporation out here, headquarters out here. I still think I'm the only person. I have the distinction of being the only person that's ever run a boot camp on Tom Sawyer's Island. Have you ever been to Tom Sawyer's Island out here?
I've never been to Disney on the left coast.
Oh, you got to be on the left coast. Well, do you guys have Tom Sawyer's Island on the other one?
So
across the river or no?
There is I'll tell them myself, and I don't even know how anybody. I went to Disney. I have a 41-year gap between the first time and the last time, and then I went 3 years ago. So
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. Like my gaps in Disney. I'll put it this way: when I went to Disney my first time, down in Florida, Epcot had just been finished. The ball had just been finished.
That's a couple years ago.
Yeah, been a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know?
No, that's cool. So, but either way, that was a cool account. So I had that going as well. Times changed, things kept happening. COVID hits, shuts down. Okay, if you got a corporate contract and COVID hits, you just went to zero again. I'm like, holy crap, that's not going to work. But in the meanwhile, prior to that, I'm just going to give you my whole life story right here. I went back and got an MBA at my ripe young age of 50.
That's
it. I got an MBA. It was awesome, though. The only time I ever liked being in school. Man, I had so much fun. The group, we kind of traveled in a pretty tight pack. Kristen, I hate Coach Greg's workouts. That's awesome. Thank you, Kristen. No, they said they called me the Godfather. I'm not sure if it was the Godfather or the Grandfather, but either way, I had the nickname in the class. But it was awesome, and from that, I built the Empowered Women's Fitness business in class.
Oh, nice.
I'm filing. My spidey sense was going off, saying, you know what? Because when you get out of there, you got to start a business from zero to pitch. That's your final project. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to my roots, build this thing. I've never been in a standalone building at this point. It's always been parks and other places and stuff, but I did it and penciled amazing. I'm like, this is awesome. I need to keep this handy. But I wrote it, pitched it, and the dean of the school was like, you've clearly done this before. I'm like, yeah, I guess a little bit. So while I was in there, I built this business in class. I mean, I'm filing documents, I'm pulling URLs in marketing class, and I'm letting them help me build the business. They're like, and I'm looking around. The teachers always say, hey, anybody want to use their business? I look around because I don't want to be like the hog of the class. I'm
right.
So like nobody. Shoot, I'll go again. You guys are here for something. I mean, I'll just keep going. So it was awesome. So like, why would you're here? Take advantage of the great professors and the discussions. Build that stuff, man.
Well, you're bringing up. I want to rewind you there for a minute. You talk about. I want to stick with the entrepreneurial side of this for a minute because I think a lot of us, we think of gyms. We see the big box gyms. We think of those large locations, whether it be the Golds, out where I'm at right now. We have Vent Fitness. Or what's the other one with the pizza? The purple one.
It's
Crunch.
No,
the big one that they have pick things up and put them down. I can't get the name of the place. They have the commercials. We pick things up and put them down. All these.
Okay.
Their color's purple. I can't. Planet Fitness.
Oh, Planet Fit. Okay, Planet. Yeah, we got that here. Okay.
Yeah, we've got all those, and we even have one out here called Orange Circuit or something like that.
Orange Theory.
Orange Theory. That's it.
That's the big franchise out here. Yeah.
That's the big. Hi, Jeanette. It's been too long since I've seen you.
Jeanette's like, you two idiots aren't going to figure this out.
Yeah, I love Jeanette. Jeanette is one of the best photographers I've ever seen in my life.
That's amazing.
She's amazing. I actually have one of her pictures in my house. So, all these different ones. But what I'm curious of, stepping off, leaving a corporate world, deciding that you're going to follow a passion from a business standpoint, and then getting people to understand that you can provide them. You're talking about 23 women in a park in California to try to, hey, we're going to do boot camp. What was the marketing strategy to get people to say, yeah, hey, I can do this. I mean, because '07 marketing to 2023 marketing, two different animals. You could still put things in a phone book in the front of a phone book in '07.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you learned that really, even, we're going to stay with the empowerment for a minute, that
Yep.
empowered you to say, hey, I can do this?
Great question. The first piece of that, the marketing difference was tailoring it. I said, this is tailor made for you, the woman. You're built. I used to say you're built different. You work different. So this is made for you. This is not your regular guy's workout. So just getting them to understand that this is for me. And I said, be with like-minded women. I still use a little bit of that strategy. Be with like-minded women who understand you, and then be part of the community, because they like the community, like the camaraderie, and that brings them. So a little bit of that is the same, but now the twist from then to now, I'll answer the happy question in a second, is now, because everything out here is just rush, 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 rush. The biggest thing I hear all the time is, oh, I don't have time. Well, if you don't have time, you don't have time for diabetes. You don't have time to be sick. You don't have to be time to be laid up, or it's too expensive. How expensive is being sick and ill and out of work? How expensive are those as compared to a small fee and a little bit of time for something good? And so what I created was, so my tagline for taking care of the women is caring for the caretakers, because they're taking care of everybody else. And then with proprietary 30-minute workouts. So these things are 30 minutes only. So yeah, I agree. You don't need to be, most people don't even need to be in a gym for an hour, because if you're training properly, you're not going to last an hour. Really? I don't, but I'm older though. I don't train.
I know what you mean though. I know exactly what you mean.
If you're busting ass in there, whether you're a man or a woman, either way, then you've done it right. We're doing full body stuff. They're breathing. What do you do cardio? I'm like, you're going to find your cardio as we go. It's going to happen to you. And it does, because the whole cardio stigma. Cardio just burns calories and sugar. It doesn't burn fat. It's nice for the heart. I say do cardio for your heart. And if you're out walking with your friends, that's activity that's good for you. When here you're training for life. You're training with me to be better out there, not in here. So the 30 minutes convenience now hits the mark for the women. Like, oh, 30 minutes, I can do that. Yes, you can. So there's an answer for both of them. And I make a group, make it affordable, and they love being here together. And we train outside, because there's, South Coast or
whatever. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, no, hate me for that.
And well, you also, Cody just jumped on. It's funny. There's Cody. Cody will be on Saturday. Like I said, Cody is very spiritual health, and she's always moving. And Jeanette said the same thing. As we get older, strength, mobility, balance. I even have gotten to the point I do more stretching than I do ever done lifting. And I used to do a lot of that stuff back in the day, and took all the supplements and did those things.
Sure.
I am one of the other things I'm curious about it. You're focused on women's health. This has to come up for you all the time. As a man, here you are standing there going, here, ladies, I'm going to tell you how to treat your body better. Do you catch any heat for that? How do you approach that?
Typically, it's just the question like you asked. It's like, even my wife said, what, why are you doing women? Well, there's the backstory. There's a little bit of an emotional backstory for me. Okay. My mom passed away at like 72, way too early. Probably preventable diseases if she had taken better care of herself. So what's happening, what I see in the whole health place, CDC will back this as well, is women's diseases are becoming more prevalent. Heart disease is the number one killer, followed by cancer. So both of those have prevention elements to them. Okay. So that's my mom's road. I'm like, so like my son was 2. So she missed out on a grandson. He missed out on a grandma. I'm like, so to me, I'm like, that's not really okay. Then I got friends with diseases. Then I see people that from a high school, they're like posting the pictures from hospitals and stuff. I'm like, this is just not okay. This stuff is all preventable if somebody's helping you take care of yourself. Guys are guys, but again, the caretakers of all. So that's my attachment to part of the women. And then again, is they're busy taking care of everybody else, and their health is going to crap. I see more women stressed out, poor health. They don't look good, stomach issues, all kinds of things that again can be preventable from a couple times a week of 30 minutes. It's not just training either. It's the mind body. Cody will tell you too, the spirituality of spirituality for sure, but then getting your head straight, being around other women that sometimes they just talk about stuff together and they complain. I'm delivering a community for them. I'm delivering a safe space for them. I'm not your 25-year-old trainer that says, okay, do 1,000 burpees. No, we don't do that. I understand how the body works. Their body's different. I got a bunch of videos. We're working that underside of the arm. We're working the bra strap flap piece, but then we're also talking food that works better for you. We talk about hormones. I've been in more conversations with women I don't want to be in, but I learned that's how I learned. I don't scour the internet. I just be part of the conversation quietly on the wall. Or as I said, like your doctor's here, I'm right here, because if we're working together in this fashion, I need to know what's going on with you. I don't always want to, but I need to. They're like, oh, is this TMI? I'm like, well, no, because
yes, it is, but I'm here.
It is, but it isn't. Right. I'm your coach. Because I say, people are like, oh, you're a trainer. No, I'm not a trainer. I'm a coach. A coach is education, motivation, accountability, and love. Sometimes tough love. A trainer says, here's your workout. That's it. Think of like I was thinking like Andy Reid. That dude runs the whole show in a huge way, right? You can like the team or not, but he's an amazing dude. But that guy does that, but he's not the strength trainer that only does training.
Yeah,
he's the guy that runs the ship. So that's the way I approach it. Training is part of what I do, but I give you the nutrition. I give you the mind space. Because sometimes they come in really negative and I'm not this and I'm not that. A lot of them have part of it. The downside of stuff is just the headspace of negativity from either the relationship, the kids thing. There's a lot of stuff. I got the life coaching bit as well. I just had a gal on my show on Living Empowered TV plug.
Plug away. I was about to say, folks, if you're interested also as coaches going along here, empoweredfitness.com has all of his links, everything to check it out. And it's empowered with an I. So it's I am powered.
There it is.
Fitness.com.
That's the sneaky part of the name. I am is the two strongest words in the English language. I am. Because it's think about it. I am what? I am courageous. I am a survivor. You know what? I am strong. Or you can go down the wrong route as, oh, I am weak. Oh, I am not good. We don't let that stuff happen here. It's like, if you have a challenge, we reframe the words. We accept the challenge. We don't ignore them. We accept them. We reframe them as challenges, not, oh, I'm weak or I can't do this. Yes, you can. And we're gonna show you how you're gonna do it. So you're gonna walk out of here victorious somehow in the head space, in the heart space, and the body space. So it's holistic that way. So I'm just creating that space in general where, like I said, trainers just, here's a workout. That doesn't work for me.
Right. So how many of these women that you're dealing with have never played organized sports? So they've never had that coach. Because I think not all men, but I think most of us at some point have had a coach and they've talked to us and they've mentored us. And we talk about this for men, like, and it's such a weird thing. And I'm not going to make a left down that political road for a minute, where I think the government has taken men out of too many of young people's lives and they lose that mentor, that male role model. I'm not going to go down that road. Hint, hint, drop. But I think we talk about it, men having coaches as supplementing the male role model in their lives. How about for these women that have never had that coach, or maybe they were lacking that male positive role model to show them, for lack of a better, what a man's supposed to act like? How's that work within the system?
Again, great point. That's also part of my success too, because I have that fatherly, coachy sort of demeanor, the delivery. I'll be direct. I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to be soft and loving and caring at the same time. At least 50% of them, probably, to your point, have not had a coach. Some of them, when you start talking, because they'll open up. When they start talking, there's like, oh, well, my father was this way. He was so hard on me and this. Because that's where I listen to people's words when they're training. I hear what they say. And I'm like, where did that come from? And where did that come from? And I get them to think a little bit. One lady, she started telling me all about her childhood. Oh, my father was so hard on us and nothing was ever good enough. And that because she was so negative when she was doing so well. I'm like, I don't do puffery either. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you did. I don't believe in everybody gets a trophy. Sorry, I'm old school. I don't. You can hate me for that on the show or don't. Everybody shouldn't get the trophy. That's how I grew up. You first, second, third. That's it. If you didn't, then be better and be better next time. That's simply that. But so they're doing really well, but they're still negative. I'm like, what's the deal? I'm gonna flat out ask you, where are we? Because I want you to come out of here again as your whole person is healing, because that mindset also has to do with the internals. It has to do with the body health. They're connected. and the spirituality is another piece. But those two things are connected, and the negativity of that affects the body. 100%. It's scientific.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So having that coachy figure, it's a respect thing. They don't really argue with me. We have some great fun. I've been cursed at in many languages, but at the same time, I get that, and I'm like, man, that charges me up. It charges like don't curse at him. It makes him happy. And then when you're done, as I said, hate me now, love me later. But when you're done, it's a hug. Great job today. I'll see you next time. That kind of thing, and it creates the relationship. So really, what my thing's about is the relationship. I don't lock people into long contracts. I say it's going to be our relationship and your results. It's an automatic contract right there. You're going to want to come where you feel good, where good things happen, where you see your friends. A place that makes you feel good is where you're going to go, like your bar. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, like I call this, I'm talking a lot, but I call this the empowered fitness. Right now I'm training out of my house. I have the blessing of a huge yard for a California yard. I've only got half of it built out as a gym, and it's really big. So I'm on my way to a facility. So I have a corporation. If anybody's interested, investors and a facility is where I'm heading, but it's all about creating that community there of that. So it's community culture of that same thing. So and I call it the third place. Third place is your home. So you hang out. Second place is where you work. You spend the second most, maybe the first most hours. Third place is where you go to get rid of both of those. You get away from both of those places and your space. So you go to Empowered Women's Fitness, that's your space, because we're going to have coffee bars. We're going to have wine tasting with local ladies' businesses. It's going to be a fun place, but a serious place, all that stuff.
Now, so that was going to be my next thing and I want to stay with the business model for a second, because sure. I think that one of the things you just said, no long-term contracts, not locking people in. I think that is one of the great fears of these big gyms that are out there and all those things is the long contracts. I joke around about the CrossFit. Mm-hmm. CrossFit is so cultish to me. Mm-hmm. I've never met someone, and 9 times out of 10, they're either guys that worked out super heavy, like I used to work out when I was in the Marine Corps, and it was attached to my paycheck, and we lose it and we go back and we're like, I can be a monster here. Or who's never worked out in their life and they find out that they can physically do it. I think CrossFit is very cultish. What I'm hearing here, though, is a different kind of a model. Yes. That your approach, that I think I studied Aikido for years. That Aikido dojo that I went to, what was great about it was that when the day would end and we had worked out, some of us doing 2 classes in a day.
Ooh, good for you.
We would open up the fridge and grab a beer. Yes. And we would talk about our day, and we would talk about what's happening. We would talk about our lives and what was going on in our lives outside of that workout. Is that where you're trying to take this of let's work out, let's look good, let's feel, let's be better ourselves? Because I'll tell you right now, I've never met anyone that put on a new suit or a new set of clothes, got a haircut, and didn't feel instantly better.
100%. Yep.
So is that the route we're looking to go with this, is eventually make this into a workout / gathering space?
Absolutely. You nailed it. You nailed it on the head. Because after you do your thing with those guys and gals, I presume, I had a female sensei, Aikido for me as well. She was like all of 5 feet tall, but could wreck anybody in the room. She was amazing. But same thing. Yeah. You train with those people, you bond with them there. Then you step out and you take the uniform off and you become human again. But that's your community bonding. That's your third place. That's your third safe space where you go to relax. It's the community. It's the culture. It's where you want to hang. And then, now I got to go home, but you had your personal time with your buddies. It's a good spot. We're creating that. It's the relationship place, because it doesn't exist like the Orange Theory out here. It's got a nice workout thing, but there's nowhere to stand and hang out. They usually walk out the door and right into the parking lot.
Yes.
I see him hanging out the door. I'm like, who's going to stand by the parking lot? No, we're going to have a little spot in front so you can have a coffee, a tea, or whatever.
That's awesome.
And be with your friends, or, make new friends. It happens here. I have a 30-minute class, or they're here at least 45 minutes because they're chit-chatting, or they add more to their workout, or, they're not in a hurry to leave. I never put anything right behind this particular mom's group because I know they're going to be here not 30 minutes. So I give them extra time, extra space. And it just, sometimes they talk to me and sometimes I just step out and I'm not the center of attention at all. I'm always back one step and I'll let them do their thing. If they pull me back in, sure, I'll chat with them, but I let them mingle amongst themselves because that's really why they're there. They always get a great workout, but then it's about these girls go play pickleball. I don't know if you guys have pickleball or not.
We got it out here.
Yeah. They're like, hey, let's go play pickleball. So they'll train or whatever. And then that afternoon they'll go play pickleball together. They didn't all know each other on the way in the door, but now they do.
That's all.
Yeah, they do this all by themselves. And that's it. It's a community thing. It's creating a really good space. And there's not a lot of places that do that. They're just work out, charge a membership, come in, work out, and leave.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times that it's funny you mentioned that about the Orange Theory. A former coworker, she went through it. She was and she had great results. She posted pictures and I can see that, but at the same time, I know exactly what you mean by that in and out piece. Cause when you go past it, the counter can't be more than 6 feet from the front door.
Right.
And it has that vibe of like, oh, you're here, check in, go ahead and go back there. Get your stuff changed, workouts. All right. Yeah. Cause the next person's coming in right behind you. And it's kind of that workout mill. It's
the mill.
And I'm with you. You definitely have to have something there.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the now? This is all on the left coast,
and
as I refer to it as the left coast, not the right coast, because
I got you. Yeah.
Look, I'm the guy who always ended up in California during the May grays and the June glooms. San Diego. Guys will be like, "Hey, I love being stationed in San Diego. This is so great." Down by the airport at MCRD. I would be the guy who got there and they'd be like, yeah, man, you're gonna love it. And I would get there and it'd be like May and June. And folks, if you've never been to California in May and June, when the clouds blow in off the Pacific, and you're like, isn't this place supposed to just be amazing and all that? But I will tell you this completely, Greg, you can call me a son bitch when this is over. But completely opposite of working out. Jack in the Box Ultimate Double Bacon Cheeseburger.
Okay, that happens occasionally.
Is the most amazing. I don't care about this Whataburger and all these. When I get to the left coast, that is the first place that I have to go to is to a Jack in the Box to get an Ultimate Double Bacon Cheeseburger.
That's awesome.
And just go comatose right afterwards. Because folks, and you guys got Carl's Jr. What do you guys call it? Carl's, we call it Hardee's, all that. But that's
same company. Yeah,
I digress into fat.
Well, okay, have you been to In-N-Out? You guys had In-N-Out out there?
We don't have In-N-Out over here. I've been to In-N-Out. It's okay. I like the fact that it's a smaller menu. I like that. We don't, I will tell you here on the East Coast, especially in the Northeast where I'm at, we don't have a lot of like unique, like, hey, there's In-N-Out or this. You go down south, they have Bojangles, which is absolutely. I know you're like, what the hell's a Bojangles?
No, we got none of that.
Yeah, Bojangles is like Popeye's chicken, but good.
But good. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, we do a thing called the Bowberry biscuit, which is a blueberry biscuit with like Cinnabon style glaze on top of it.
Oh man, bro, that's ridiculous, right?
I've told this story 100 times. My wife's probably watching, and she'll yell at me in a minute. My youngest will be 6 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Lucas! He'll be 6 tomorrow. He was like a year old. We were going to see one of my other kids who was in the Coast Guard, and my sons and I were like, we're going to Bojangles. And this is the conversation during a workout show.
For sure.
Because you have to talk, because you need a reason to work out. You need reasoning.
Yeah, you know what? If you're trained, that happens here all the time. They're talking food and what's good. All the time.
But my wife's like, I'm not going to Bojangles. I have no interest in that. I want to go. I'm like, look, we're going. I'll go somewhere else for you afterwards, but this is where we're going.
Yeah.
After we went the first time, we ate there 5 more times.
Well, yep.
I was like,
right? Yeah.
This shit's just good.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta, man, and I'm all for that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what these workouts. I used to say I worked out so I could eat like a fat kid.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my thing. So, so for this, what are some of the things that you would say? I know we've talked about, we all think getting in better shape and camaraderie and all those things. But is there anything else? I mean, because we've already said it. And folks, it's empoweredfitness.com. Check out what Greg's got going on. All of his social media links are there. And empowered is IamPoweredFitness.com. There's a play on words there. There's a reasoning behind that. If you know Kristen, we love Kristen. She goes there. What are some of the things though, besides that maybe this is probably a better way to put it, things that you didn't think were going to come from this for folks that you're like, oh shit, this is happening for people, or this is happening during this that you really didn't expect to happen?
I think the outside thing, I've turned this into an outside deal. Everybody's indoors. So the COVID thing. So we train online first. So this starts here. And then as soon as people that have been here before, like, hey, when can we start coming to your house? So I ended up building out the yard, and I put up, pop-ups and such, because when it gets sunny, you want the pop-up up. And I thought the business, like if it started raining or something, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get my business crushed when it rains or what happens. Now, what doesn't happen is they don't stop coming. I have ladies that show up at 5 a.m, 5:30 in the morning. It can be dark, it can be drizzly, but they know each other are coming and they show up. You just put your beanie on, you put your coat on, you put your gloves on. That's our cold, not your cold, but still, for them, it's still cold and drizzly. It's not as warm, but they keep coming, which is amazing. So they don't really care. I used to freak out, the weather's not perfect, whatever. They don't care, man. They don't care. They want the good workout. They want to be there with their friends. They see the value in it. And I always over deliver stuff too, like you're talking about, like, because of like the headspace piece. I just started getting more and more into the headspace piece because people need that as much as they need anything else. So you might get a life lesson while you're here just because of the conversation that pops out. So I got way more well-versed in that stuff. And then the nutrition piece I give to everybody. Like we're talking about, it's fun. They're like, oh my God, the fitness guy and him are talking burgers. Well, that's real life. And I teach it this way. It's like, okay, well, here's how you go eat that stuff. I had a conversation with a guy today. It's like, okay, you're going to go to In-N-Out. He's like burger, fries, and a shake. I'm like, okay, let's fix that a little bit. Enjoy your food. But say it's like, eat the burger, but eat half the burger. Because 2 reasons. One, you take the extra calories, you're going to store them. You just are. You're not going to use them all. But you cut that in half, you learn to eat smaller meals. That's where we all go wrong. But you cut it in half, you get to have it today, and you get to have it tomorrow. So you get the double goodness. So you get it twice the goodness. That's how I see it. I get goodness twice, but I didn't overeat it. I don't feel miserable. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel guilty from overeating. A lot of people have the guilt issue with the eating. So, it's just learning and teaching people how to eat better. I don't go with it, eat chicken, rice, and vegetables as every meal thing. That's ridiculous. Nobody does that.
No.
No, it's not real life. So let's take your real life and continue to make it real life, but make small changes. So really becoming like a small change expert, teaching people small change. And then pretty soon they're like, oh, I don't do this anymore. I do this instead, but little bits at a time. But I think specifically your question, what I didn't see coming out of this was like how dedicated people were going to remain regardless of the weather changes and stuff. Like I said, I thought I was just like in cold. I was going to end up shutting down. Man, the women are like, hey, we're on today, right? It's drizzling outside. I'm like, yep, we're on. It's still dark and drizzling. And they just keep coming because it's for all of those reasons. And they always, no matter what, they still feel better when they come.
Now, do you live in a neighborhood?
Yes.
Look, this is me. How many men have come to you and been like, dude, why you got all these ladies just pulling up to your house in the morning? Like, what's going on, dude? What's happening over there? It's not happened.
Nobody's ever said that.
Well, I just did.
You just did. Well, they come in ones and they figured it out pretty quick. My neighbors know what I do. My neighbors train with me on both sides. Yeah, both sides. I got a lady on one side that comes, a guy on the other side that comes.
So you do have men that come train.
I do have men. Yes, the empowered women's fitness part is where we're heading on the grander scope. As soon as I get one facility open, I'm going to open a couple of them. We're going to go to a franchise, and I'm going to end up in your neighborhood.
Bring it on, brother.
I'm talking to a guy already about North Carolina. He's like, this is an amazing idea. I want to be part of this. Get one out here in North Carolina. I'm like, okay.
Jacksonville. Go to Jacksonville.
You like Jacksonville? Yeah.
Well, here's why. That's where Camp Lejeune is. And the amazing thing about, I'll throw this out there from a franchise standpoint, what makes Jacksonville great is you will get an owner who's probably a retired master sergeant, master guns, colonel, captain, something like that that's staying in the town because it's normally ranked as number one most family, best military city to raise a family in because it's an all Marine town and everything's built around the base. But the other side to it is you have so many people that are transient. So you're going to get people that are going to be there for 2-3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going to leave. So your clientele is turning over on a regular basis. Yeah. And a lot of them, guess where they're going to go when they leave Camp Lejeune? A lot of them will go to Pendleton.
Pendleton, sure.
Southern California again. So if they know that, hey, can I transfer this over to this location? Now you're going from Camp Lejeune to Camp Pendleton, and you're moving that direction and staying with all these things.
Oh, that's great advice. No, I love that.
Yeah, that's my mindset. That's Kristen, I love Kristen. This is Kristen makes my life so much easier with things. Here, she wants to know about your virtual workouts.
Oh, because she's always hitting that. Because Kristen does virtual workouts because she lives so far from me. She's going to make a comment right here. No, we started virtual during COVID because people, they're just sitting around their houses now. Really, they're sitting around their houses, eating too much, getting fat. Straight up, people are getting fat. I'm going to call it what it is. And then so we started virtual, and then I never took virtual off the table because I have a lot of ladies that either don't want to drive, have made a lifestyle of they wake up at 5:20 to be online at 5:45. And I've got early morning classes. They just hit the go button on the computer like we're doing here. I coach them through a live workout. They're there together, 4, 5, 6 of them. And then 30 minutes later, boom, off the computer. You're still at home. Take care of the kids, go to work, whatever it is you're doing, but boom, 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 you're done. So the workout, so all the folks that are your place are like, oh, we can't come to California. That's okay. Check the schedule because, for you, it's still going to be mornings. I do 5:45, 6:30 in the morning virtual stuff. It's different because you don't have all the equipment, but we use just a fitness band. But man, I can wreck you with a fitness band. Band.
I've got them. I've got them in my gym behind me. I've got them. They're amazing. And we're close to closing the bar up here and everything. So I love the virtual stuff. I think if you can take virtual classes for college, you can do a virtual workout. And when people are like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that. That's why P90X and Tybo and all these things were the early adopters of virtual workout. You just put the tape in and hit play. Right. So let's not be silly about that.
Big difference, though, is you're watching somebody, you're following, and you're probably doing it wrong. Now, with me, I'm coaching you. I'm not doing the workout. I'm telling you what to do. I'm sitting here just like this, saying, move your feet this way, move your arm this way, tuck that over there. I'm still coaching you. It's not a follow along. I'm giving you the things to do, and I'm telling you how to do it properly. So you're still getting coached online. I'm not an aerobics instructor. I would say I'm not an aerobics instructor. People think I don't even work out. Like, we've never seen you do anything. Like, come back later and work out with me then. They're like, no, thanks. But on the virtual, it's still coaching. I still coach. It's still teaching you how to do stuff properly and motivate you through the thing. That's why I'm not sure why they're not comfortable at home, because you can wear whatever you want and you're in your home space. And if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to. Nobody turns their camera off, though, because they're like, oh, I want to make sure I'm doing this like so-and-so, and they're doing it together. And it's still the camaraderie of like being here.
Right.
It's still the thing. So that person has an excuse. That's an excuse for some other reason to not go train. So I would get to that person and go, what's the real reason? It's not, you're not comfortable on video. What is it? Because if you come live, why not video?
I love it.
So there's something's missing there. So let's talk through that, figure out what it is, dig through it, and then let's get you going.
That's Greg. That's such a great approach. Now for folks that, and again, folks, if you want to do Greg's live, again, it's Empowered Fitness, IempoweredFitness.com. You can go on there. But what are some of the things that you would tell someone? They're the person, they're looking to get back in shape, or maybe they've never truly been in shape, and they're looking for, they've all got excuses. I don't have, I need to get that. Do you have a checklist that you might share with somebody to say, hey, blank, blank, blank. If you have this, you can get this. This is going to get like a water bottle, a pair of shorts, and a pair of good sneakers. Like, what is it that you would say to somebody? Hey, if you're getting ready to work out or get back into working out, these are the things you need, and you'll be golden to start.
Yeah. If you're just coming in, when you're just coming in, you got to find the right person, right group to be with. for starters. Yes, water bottle, pair of shoes, all the easy stuff, and then learn to ditch all those excuses. Because all the excuses are some fear of something in the past. I didn't stick with it. I won't stick with it again. I was heavy before. I'm going to be heavy again. That's all limiting beliefs. And that's a whole nother conversation, limiting beliefs. So we got to get past that. But I always say start super simple. You didn't get here in a day. You're not going to get here in a day. Start super simple. I always tell them just start. Tomorrow, there's no day on the calendar that says tomorrow. Today's your day.
I like it.
No, it doesn't say tomorrow. It says Monday, Tuesday. I get that, but tomorrow is not there. I'll start whenever. I do a lot of public speaking also, and I talk about that. There's no tomorrow. I'll start when. That's the biggest lie ever tell yourself. I'll start on Monday. No, you won't. I'll start on New Year's. No, you won't. Because until you have a why, I tell people, why do you want to train for real? I'll tell you a quick story. Do I have a minute to give you a quick story?
Yeah, we got some time.
Okay, this is I tell them figure out why. Why are you coming? Why do you want to train? Well, I want to lose weight. Okay, but why? Well, I want to look good better. Okay, again, why? Man, you start peeling back that onion with somebody. If they're willing to peel back that onion with you, you get down to where it becomes emotional now, not just I want to look good. Some people just stop there and that's as far as they're going to go, and you got to let it be. I had a guy that I went, client of mine sent me to her father-in-law. 65 years old, 350 pounds, 6'3" or 4", big dude.
Big boy.
His easy, big boy. Yeah, way out of shape, all kinds of stuff. Sitting in his easy chair when I got there, didn't even answer the door. They just let me in and I went and talked to him. So we're chatting. I'm like, hey, so why am I here helping you? Well, I got to lose some weight and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, get it. So we started peeling back the onion with this guy. Okay, this is a big construction dude. You imagine this guy sitting there, big burly man's man. Okay, after about 2 minutes of this, he starts crying. I'm like, now we're getting somewhere. What's up? And what's your why? He's like, I can't play with my grandchildren. Then the dude just stopped. He's like, ugh. That was why he needed to train. That's why he needed to move. Just moving, just being mobile, just getting rid of some of that weight. I can't get on the floor because I can't get off the floor. His grandkids were little. I can't ride a bike with my grandkids. He's missing out on their life. That was his why. So I tell people, go dig in a little deep. Don't be afraid of what's holding you up.
Then we'll look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror. Like, look at honest. Look, we don't do that much anymore. We don't get honest with ourselves. My wife, my kid's 13. I'm 55. I'm going to be an old dad. So I got to keep up with him. He's already big as me too. But I want to have grandkids. My wife's like, stop rushing him. I'm like, I'm not rushing him. I just want to be alive, healthy. When that comes, I don't want to be, just in my wheelchair stuck because I didn't take care of myself, because I let the diseases go too long, because I didn't address stuff, because I was afraid to. Whatever the reason is, but dig in there. So figure out your why. Once you get a why, start with somebody that understands you. So like if you're an older person and you're getting started, don't go to the 25-year-old trainer. Nothing against them, but they're not going to have the same experience as somebody that's a little bit older.
They don't understand you.
Right. I've been through a lot of crap in life, and I got back issues. I got a shoulder issue. Been through all that stuff, the medical things, all that. So I get that. I get where you're going. And then just say, you know what? The fact that you celebrate every little victory. So I tell them, celebrate every victory. You're showing up for the first day, massive victory. Celebrate that. Don't I didn't lift enough. Doesn't matter. The victory is you showed up. You did something. You made a commitment to yourself and you showed up. So we get deep with this stuff. That's the stuff where I go. The shoes, just start. Start today with no expectations. The expectation is to start. And then tomorrow, the next victory is you did it again. And then the next day you do. So it's 1% better every day is what my coaches always tell me. 1% better every day. Whatever it is you're choosing to be better at, 1%. By the end of the year, look how far you just got. You're 300 plus better. Even if you're going to do this like the stock market does. But as long as overall you're making forward progress, and then don't let a slip day. If you go to Jack in the Box and you wreck it, enjoy the crap out of it. Don't feel guilty about it. Enjoy every bite. Savor it. Yeah, right. You did it. You're going to eat it. Don't be guilty. Don't let too many people I feel so bad. I ate that. If you're going to feel bad, don't eat it. If you're going to eat it, own it. Go, man, I ate that. It was amazing. But here I am today. I'm back on track.
Send me pictures of it. Send me pictures of the burger because I still miss the burger.
You know what? I'm going to send you one.
Oh, you should. God, Greg, I'm telling you, the ultimate double bacon cheeseburger. I'll have to tell you a story after the show about another Marine that I work for. that swore. I'll tell you, right, his name was Gunny. God, I can't think of his name. He was master in felt hands. He swore to me that he invented the ultimate double bacon cheeseburger when he was out in California, originally from Iowa.
Okay.
Moved out to California for a little bit. And while out in California, he was working at a Jack in the Box before he joined the Marine Corps and used to make those burgers for himself. And that he swore that some corporate guy saw him and then they stole it and then they made all this money and he swore he invented it. But just so you know, every Marine swore that they were a Division I athlete that lost the scholarship, that blew their knee out. Yeah. Every single one of them. Now, real quick before we get ready to close up the bar here, if somebody's like, look, I know Greg's got the virtual stuff on empoweredfitness.com. I hear you, but I'm just that physical person. I need to go into a gym, and they're out here on the right coast or somewhere. They're just not in Southern Cali right now. Yeah. What are some of your top, three things that you would say these are things you need to look at for a gym or even any kind of workout program? Like I still do my yoga stretches, but I love hot yoga. I just can't. I don't take the time to get to the classes anymore. I just do it at home now. What are some of the things though that you would say look for these things?
Great question. First thing you got to pick in the gym is someplace that you're comfortable with. Like you walk in the door and you're like, oh, this feels good. There's a lot of times, like you said, CrossFit. You see a bunch of people throwing the weights around. You're like, maybe not. So pick the place that feels good for one. And then two, pick the place that matches what you like. Because when you like doing what's going on in that gym, you're going to keep going. It's like, oh, man, I'm dreading my workout today. I really don't like this. I don't like the guy. I don't like it. Smells funny in here. If there's things you don't like about it, you're going to quit. So pick the style that you like. Like you said, you listed like 3 different styles right from the beginning. Yeah. CrossFit is definitely not for everybody. You're right. It's a little cultish. I always tell people, be careful with that, because I had a neighbor once. She's like, I'm going to CrossFit. I'm like, please be careful. And then I see her with a knee brace on like 3 days later. I'm like, what happened? I was doing a box jump. I'm like, why were you doing box jumps?
Yeah.
That doesn't even fit you. So go with some place that supports your goals. If you like the HIIT class and you want to lose weight, then go to the HIIT classes. If you like just the aerobic style stuff, and then find someone that has that. But go with what you like, that makes you feel good and happy with. If you just like free weight lifting, you like grunting and grinding, then you go to the Gold's Gym. So really it's about finding the style that you like, that fits you, because that's going to keep you coming back. So comfortable place, you're comfortable around the people, and then the style of training that you like. I'm just going to leave you at the top 2. Because if you like it, you're going to go back. Simple as that.
You just proved to me that I might be a mental case. I want either hot yoga. I enjoy hot yoga, or I want medieval, like just lifting.
Because you know why? You got old school and you got old guy.
Yeah,
you're old, but you know what I mean. You need the high, or you like the yoga pants. I don't know. You can look hot in yoga pants, man.
I look amazing in yoga pants with my manto. I look amazing.
So, well, but
buffalo knuckle.
Thanks for that. But on that note, but because that part of that's old school lifting for you. I like that big hip. Man, I grew up lifting in the 80s, and all we did was lift it heavy crap, man. Just bigger, stronger, heavier. So my body still
Dorian Yates is my hero. Listen, Dorian Yates. Look up Dorian Yates, all you young punks, and find what an English monster looks like.
That dude,
beast.
Absolutely massive. I go all the way back to Arnold. That was the first bodybuilding book I ever read, was Arnold's book. I probably still have it somewhere. But this old school. Yeah. But then the yoga is because your body needs the yoga to offset that piece. So as much of a mental case you think you are, that's a great balance.
I love
super great balance.
But it's also medieval because it's 1,000 degrees in there.
I can't do that. Hats off to you for pulling that off, but Emma whistle when it comes to that. But awesome.
Well, look, folks, we got to get ready to close the bar up here. Check out what Greg's got going, empoweredfitness.com. All of his hours are going to be on there. You can do the virtual workouts. If you're in Southern California, y'all know I pick on every one of you, but go out there and do the live classes with Greg. Send me pictures that you went to the live class with Greg. Post them on there. Hashtag the Above the Bar podcast. Let me know what you got going on. If you're finding us through Greg, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, giving us that Apple podcast, that Spotify, that whatever you're listening to us on, giving us that 5-star rating, that's what pushes things for Greg's. That's how the next person finds out about his workout, and the next person finds out what he's got going on. So giving that 5-star rating truly does matter. You may think it doesn't matter. It might sound like, well, I hear my kids stuff all the time and they say it. Listen to me. That matters to us. That matters to guys like Greg and I. Go, if you're finding Greg through me, go look up what Greg's got going on. Go find his Instagram and follow him on Instagram. Go find his show. Go follow it's Empowered TV, right? Correct me.
Living Empowered TV. Yeah.
Go look up Living Empowered TV. Give him a follow. Let him know what you got going on. Go do all these things. As always, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. It's all even our email. It's all the Above the Bar podcast. Make sure you're giving Greg a follow. Make sure you're giving us a follow. Also, don't forget, we've got a couple of weeks here. We're doing some regular shows here. We're doing this Saturday. Cody's going to be on. We're talking about what she's got going on. She's got a big retreat coming up. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about that other fitness. Cody gets very into spiritual fitness and kind of attaching movement. Greg, you would love it. She does.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm going to watch. I can't wait.
Transcendental dancing.
Nice.
Which to me, I was like, Cody,
Like,
what the frick are you doing right now? And she's like,
I'm dancing.
Oh. But she's amazing with it, and she's so great. So please make sure you join us this Saturday, 8 p.m. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Greg, now I know you've listened to 100 and whatever. I have no idea what we're up to. It's like 180 something.
Fantastic. Congrats for that.
Kristen will have to tell me how many I'm up to at this point because she knows better than I do.
Yeah.
But as we do in every single episode, and don't log off on me, the guest always gets the final word on every show. So what's the final word?
Be fit, be strong, be empowered.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.